Good afternoon.
Welcome to our fourth Quarantine Adventures show, where we're talking today about dreamlands.
Yes, we thought that it will be very appropriate because, as you can see, we're already starting living a dream here. Since the weather is so beautiful, we are sitting not inside our apartment but outside, enjoying the weather, having this beautiful view on the canal.
Yes, and quarantine is actually slowly coming to an end here, at least in Amsterdam. Many people are out in this beautiful weather, but we've been working very hard to prepare a really special show today.
Yes, it's probably so far the most advanced and ambitious one we have done, but we hope that you will like it and we hope that everything will go well.
We have a few very special guests, Daniel Roland, the violinist, and Maya Bogdanovich, cellist, who are good friends, dear friends, and who are actually going to help co-host the show today.
Yes, they are basically going to be with us for the whole duration of the show. And then afterwards we'll have also Peter Riebeck, the head of wonderful Bethlehem Kirk, Studio 150, where we played many beautiful concerts during the quarantine. He is going to join us as well.
And a small statement from a surprise guest who will be known in a little while.
And the feature of fantastic dancers Carlos and Mirella, who also were performing with us a few weeks ago, some tango dancing.
So, without further ado,
can see, we moved very far since our first show, and now we have our guest not not in the screen, but actually personally here with us on the roof terrace,
Yes.
enjoying some delicious cheeses and pate and champagne.
It's
and
so
sun.
it's so nice to be here, and also I was just looking at all these goodies on the table, and so this is some kind of lovely goat's cheese, and then there's a pate, and this is like parmigiano, and then there is this unbelievably rare black truffle. And I've never seen one like this in my life. Exactly, the truffle-filled chocolate. And I heard this. If you this, they sell this at Sotheby's for outrageous prices. But we're going to share this one amongst the four of us during this interview. So do you mind if I? Yes.
So Daniel and Maya are visiting us on our roof, and during quarantine somehow we were keeping each other company quite often in all different ways, from playing beautiful music in the Bethlehem Kirk to
Right.
acting inside the paintings of Renoir and Monet. And today we are going to dance on the roof, some tangos.
It's amazing, no, that we've all been through. How long is it now? 3 months, something like that. Of this
Wow,
unique,
2.5.
2.5, exactly. This unique kind of Corona episode, and I guess everyone's been through it in their own way, their own kind of problems and challenges and good things. But I found what came out of it was a couple of, friendships and strengthened and new projects that would
Yes.
never have happened otherwise.
Absolutely.
And discovering also who are the people who refuse to kind of lie down and in the face of kind of potential adversity make things happen. And I'm always so very happy to meet these kind of people, right? I think you are too.
Yeah, we are, for sure.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
And it's amazing how open and eager you were always to join all our crazy
Exactly.
ideas.
Exactly.
Oh, when there are great ideas, of course we will join.
Crazy and great is a good combination.
Yeah, so during the last show we had a little problems with internet, so that's why we decided to have a little recap. And and now you will see some of our Impressionism efforts coming to life.
Exactly.
That was a very memorable windy picnic when we were trying to catch the last bits of good weather before it became again colder and
Exactly.
a little bit stormy.
Yeah. We just cycled through the park, on the way here just now, and the park is pretty much full of people, and
And probably in Manet style.
Yeah, very in my
Right.
style.
Very almost nudes.
But Manet was first, right? He was the first version of this kind of picnic. But basically, what's the slight controversial element? Is that the ladies are almost naked, right?
They are
And the
completely
yeah,
naked.
and the two guys are fully clad and looking quite
Yeah.
happy with the situation. No, that's the thing.
Exactly.
And then
A few years later.
Monet did a few years later a version, which is less kind of X-rated.
More family friendly.
Yeah, family friendly entertainment, but it still exudes a huge sense of kind of pleasure, at being
Yes,
there.
for
It's not
sure.
it's not boring.
Mhm.
It's just less kind of sexual, let's say.
Yes,
But not boring.
absolutely. So,
So-
I guess now you're going to see this recreation of our beautiful breakfast on the grass, which was quite dramatic and stormy, but nevertheless very, very pleasant.
And Maya, you were saying the original. Where is it again? It's a park close to Paris, right?
Park is this forest of Fontainebleau, which is
Fontainebleau.
close to Paris. Yeah.
Okay. Have you been there?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
We have to go.
You have to go.
In addition to the painting of Monet, we also have in this video another beautiful painting by Renoir. And this painting is called In the Fields, and it pictures two girls with the flowers looking somewhere. And since at the moment when we were filming this and recreating this painting, there was no
Recreated.
second girl around, I had to be both of the girls.
Created Anna's twin,
But
So I got a sister.
digital twin.
But it's so nice because it makes me think of two kind of pieces of music that I love. One is like Swan Lake, no, Odette and Odile. No, the white swan and the black.
Yeah.
The good and the evil. But then also Kurt Weill, the Seven Deadly Sins. You have the two Annas, no, who keep kind of talking to each other, but they're basically the two personalities of the one and same person. So this kind
But
of
Renoirs are not evil.
no, but surely, but one of the two might be a little
they
bit more
seem
evil.
to be quite peaceful.
Yeah. Very innocent.
But you don't know what happens after. So.
Yeah.
Exactly. Appearances can deceive. Let's go there in an imaginary way inside the painting.
So it was really a dream to be inside those Impressionist paintings.
And now we are actually going to have another very special person, Boris Fedorov, who is also my father and wonderful musician. But as well, he is incredibly shiny and positive person, as well a dreamer, who always finds things to enjoy, and even in every bad situation, he is still staying very positive and shiny. And he's going to give his little statement on dreams.
Oh, I think the dreams is most important part in the life, really, because dreams it is most pleasant. It is the mostly that we love deep in our soil. And I think that it's most important to love our dreams, love so much that to have in future possibility to transform it to reality.
And now we will go back to the Dreaming Castle where we feature Anna's performance of a Chopin nocturne.
Yes, it's for a long time when I was playing this nocturne, somehow the image I had in my head was soaring over some beautiful landscapes, possibly some beautiful castle. And when we went the other week to this castle Amarangan, we actually managed in a way to realize this fantasy or dream of mine. So we made this little musical video there. I was performing on a beautiful old Erar, which was built, I think, in the middle of the 19th century, which was also very special by itself. It has completely different touch, different sound, different soul, and the way of how you express music becomes completely different immediately, much more delicate, and that was kind of magical feeling even to play this instrument. And then basically you will see for yourself what we managed to create. And maybe it was a little bit far out in some places what we tried to achieve, but we hope that it brings some of the fantasies I have about this music.
And maybe some of your childhood fantasies, being a castle, living in a castle and being a princess.
Yes. So we hope you enjoy that little nocturne.
So it's nice to talk a little bit about the lovely afternoon, and then again a couple of days later, a few nice moments together we had making this video, kind of linking this painting by Renoir, who is of course very French indeed, and most adorable little piece by Russian composer Glier, who we thought would be made an honorary Frenchman for this occasion, because his name does sound rather French, I have to say. And I do believe he actually Frenchified it, no? Because,
Yeah, later the family has.
yeah? Because it was
Yeah.
en vogue, no? To be, it was more chic to be French. Exactly. So.
But all these people in that period spoke French at home in Russia.
Exactly. I also grew up speaking French at home,
Really?
because I'm from a very
Nice.
chic family in the east of
I
Holland.
didn't, but
No,
I grew up
I'm
in
kidding.
France.
Exactly. Yeah, you came to France, of course, from Serbia. I lived 20 years in Paris. So, yeah.
So I had lots of opportunity to visit all the museums in Paris and around, and enjoy these Impressionist paintings. We went to Giverny, of course, together to
Wow.
visit Monet's house, and I
But-
played there many times, actually.
Yeah. You had quite a strong connection, right, to Giverny, which of course is
Yeah, through my
Monet's
teacher,
house
Mr.
with the beautiful
Strauss,
water lily garden.
who has a fantastic festival there, chamber music festival.
Exactly. Isn't that where you met people like, I don't know, Penderecki and
Marcelo.
Marcelo Nizinman,
Actually,
the one and
Marcelo
only.
I met in Giverny.
But yeah, we had quite speaking of Giverny, which is so connected to this whole subject, we had quite an emotional, beautiful,
Yeah.
but sad afternoon there just over a year ago
When the pianist with whom I played a lot, Masha Belousova, died that day while we were wandering these beautiful gardens of Monet.
you were actually right there
We
when
were
you
right
when you
there,
got this
and
news.
Actually, I recorded with her Glier pieces.
Exactly. Rachmaninoff and Glier. It's amazing, right? How these things come together. I remember saying to you, shall we drive back to, where was it? Amiens, where I was playing with
Yeah.
orchestra. But then you said, no, this place is so special. Let's
We
Let's
played many
stay.
times there together.
yeah. So it
It
couldn't
was
be
a beautiful afternoon in a way.
glorious. And now we are inspired by the water lilies, maybe in another way. Exactly. There are more news on that maybe soon. When I got to
Thank
know,
you.
when we first got together,
And I brought you to all
almost
these
3 years
museums.
ago, you were living the first year and a half. You were living in Paris, so I used to come to see you many times in Paris, and it's true. You showed me your passion for this paintings by taking me to Pompidou, but also of course like the
Orsay,
D'Orsay, and what's the lovely one in
Orangerie.
Yeah, so
With
beautiful.
water lilies in oval salon.
Exactly, magical. My goodness, so it's all quite interlinked with our lives. Yeah, so about this painting Renoir, La Promenade. It's about I read a little bit about it. It's about a young man who was apparently inspired by Sisley, the painter, and this young man is wearing like a young man, bear that in mind, wearing a boatman's hat, and the kind of the feeling of the painting is that some tryst maybe is about to happen in the park, and the young man holding the hand of a beautiful young lady, and there is water to be seen there, and it's probably the Seine. And yeah, we couldn't go to the Seine because we're here in lockdown, in beautiful lockdown in Amsterdam. So we went to the Vondel Park, which is of course the beautiful ancient park in the heart of Amsterdam, which is literally a stone's throw in that direction. And we recreated this thanks to Anna and Nikki's creative
Incredible imagination.
genius and imagination, and some drone virtuosity from Nikki. And you will see also the drone then flying out of our living room a few blocks from here basically.
Other side of the park.
Yeah, other side of the park, listening to this beautiful, quite touching little berceuse by Glier.
We thought that it's quite nice to have as the theme of our tonight's show the dreamland, or live in a dream, or live in their dream, or how the childhood dreams come true,
Fulfilling your dreams.
or fulfilling your dreams. So one
Ni-
of those, choose
nightmares.
whatever you like.
No, no nightmares. No. Yes.
So what were your childhood dreams? If you, yeah.
I think at some point I wanted to be the Pope.
Pope,
Yeah,
what?
I wanted to be the Pope. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. This is when, yeah, the Pope. Yeah, this is when I was like 6. When I went to primary school. There was
That's
this question like,
interesting.
okay, let's break the ice, guys. So what do you want to be? It was like bus conductor, and I don't know, like a director of this astronaut, acrobat, and I said Pope, and the teacher said, say again, yeah, Pope. Okay. So I started quite low.
That's
But
interesting.
you don't assume that made me into a deeply religious person in the later part of my life. But yeah, that was my dream as a little kid.
Wow, that's interesting.
The
So
main,
Never.
the strongest one.
Yeah.
yeah,
Child.
And
the
very
most
specific
the
one.
most difficult to attain, basically.
Not easy, yeah. but
Exactly.
who likes it easy?
I almost managed. I was so close. Yeah. Just a couple of choices in life drifted me
That's
away from
true.
this
Could be
destiny.
your stage name.
Yeah. Well,
Think about.
actually, do
There
you
is this Daniel Roland, the preacher.
no Daniel Roland? That's true. I can tell you two
Also a
things.
tuba player.
Yeah, there's a famous Daniel Roland preacher in 1700s in Wales, and also I almost broke my violin on the tomb of Alexander Pope,
Wow.
which is in
Really?
Twickenham in the south of London.
You're right.
Alexander
Which-
Pope is the one which we read in our
We
show.
read a poem from Alexander Pope,
Exactly.
Our-
It's beautiful, right?
poetry and music show.
The author
Yeah.
for Solitude.
Yeah. But the honesty command. It was not my violin. I was playing the violin, as you can imagine. But then my iPad suddenly decided to fall down, and it fell quite far from this church stage and crashed out right onto the grave of Alexander Pope.
But iPad, not violin.
Yeah, it wasn't the violin. The violin was fortunately still here. I did once also drop my violin, but that's another long story. But
That
anyway,
was
so
not a dream, right?
that really happened. So I have some. I almost
That came
became
true.
woke in some kind of way. What about Nikki, for example? Did you have any childhood dream you could
I can't remember
respectively share with us?
any well thought out dream that I had, but when I was young, I guess I wanted to be a skateboarding champion.
But you
Cool.
fulfilled this dream when you were still a child, so you had to move on.
Well, it was a competition for children. It's not exactly the same. But, and at that time, I think when I was really young, I really liked these really big trucks with big wheels.
Yeah.
My favorite video was of monster trucks, not monster jumping trucks, those were also cool, but monster construction trucks. I don't know why. But
And with you as the truck driver, obviously.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
my
so
brother,
it's pretty
yeah.
close to playing the bass, actually.
Yeah.
Like my brother, he wanted to be truck driver when he was little. I don't know why.
Really? What
These
about
ones with the
Maybe
wheels, the
it's-
wheels are like as tall as this little house.
Yeah. So like you said, it's just a tiny step away from that to be a bass player, right? Exactly.
Amazing.
And Maya, what's
Oh, I had many dreams. I wanted to be ballet dancer, a detective, and I don't
Detective?
know. Almost.
you would have been a good
But
detective.
actually, I remember one story in Serbian lessons. So we were, I think, first grade or like 6-7 years, and we had to write these essays, what is your dream? And I wrote then that I see myself living in Paris, playing cello. I just started playing cello then, and that was my dream, and actually it came true. So.
And living with
But,
a young man
wow.
called Daniel.
This was not then yet.
But that dream came.
But the dream. Yes. What about your dream
No.
living with Maya?
No, my dream was to be Pope, so it would have been no Maya.
No
in that
Maya.
sense. Well,
Maya.
not officially anyway.
But
you
if
know.
you are Orthodox,
But, Orthodox Pope, oh yeah. I
Pope,
didn't
you
think
can
about
have
that. Exactly. Yeah. So that leaves Anna and her dreams.
Yeah, so, well, somehow my dreams when I was a child were quite strongly connected with reading, and when I was small, I loved to read French novels. The ones from Alexander Dumas, or well, basically everything about old France,
Wow.
which involves castles,
Yeah.
adventures, and I was picturing myself maybe not as a princess, but rather as some kind of princess/hero,
Yeah.
something like that, in that kind of surrounding and that era,
Fantastic.
a bit romanticized probably from what it was in reality, but somehow I always had fascination for castles and old stuff.
Beautiful. So I think we just now need to create some kind of little movie or something like that, or story, including this adventurous princess, the truck driver, the detective, and the Pope.
And that will be the next show. So, yeah, we didn't yet manage to get that far and make such a big scale movie, but we started with something. And the third little film we managed to make in this beautiful castle Amorongen, which we visited, is the Schubert Stonehen and a little love story implemented
Yes.
into it.
Some magical appearing and disappearing and beautiful love story in between.
Yes. So, yeah, that will be our last video from this beautiful castle. But somehow, whenever we think about it, it still feels as we really lived the dream. At least my dream of living in a castle, which I had when I was a child.
In general, this whole castle dream we've shared actually the last years. We've gone to France to look at castles specifically. We had this ideas of holding more musical performances, maybe a music festival at some point in a castle, and the inspiration of the history and the beauty of it is just very powerful when you're there. So
Yeah, and whenever we had the chance to play in the castle, I always was so inspired, and my imagination was going wild, and I was thinking that we should buy one. Which is not very realistic, but nevertheless we can enjoy the castles whenever we can.
yes.
So Schubert, Stanchen.
Stanchen.
another guest today who was a little bit late, but now he joined us and he's ready to talk about his dreams and how his dreams are coming true right now.
Absolutely, yes.
And
Also,
this is
also with the help of you guys, actually.
Peter Reber,
Um,
the head of the wonderful Bethlehem Kirk.
exactly. The Bethlehem Church was a project which came out of something that I did earlier, a recording studio that I started in 1979. And then we did all this until 2015, and then we decided we wanted a real big venue, not a small rock studio. Although we were very successful in that field, we wanted something really much more bigger, also to facilitate small orchestras and stuff like that. So we sold the old studio. That was good because it was in an area where we could get good money for it, and then we had some money to make this happen. Fortunately for us, Yuri, my business partner, he found a church in the north of Amsterdam. And we thought, oh, a church. Okay, why not? And we started to go there and to see if it was something for us to buy. And, you know, as audio people, we clap our hands and we go like, ah, so to see what the sound is like and stuff. And very quickly we decided that this was actually quite wonderful, so we wanted to buy it. And then we had to do a renovation. The renovation was about twice as expensive as to buy the church, so there was a bit of a problem. And now, of course, it is for many people to see that our crazy dream to make a recording studio and concert venue in this church actually happened. So this was actually my child's dream when I started to listen to very old records who were done in the 50s and in the 60s, when I was almost not born. These big studios, they existed and they made wonderful records that even today sound like the best ones ever made. And we are trying now to recreate this old style of recording and doing concerts.
So we indeed have had some very memorable concerts at the Bethlehem Kirk. It really helped us get through some of this quarantine experience where all of course, our normal performances were cancelled, but we had a very alive musical experience playing in the beautiful church and beautiful acoustic and beautiful piano and with great musicians who were also stuck here in Amsterdam, like Daniel and Maya. And we played 8 times in the church so far.
And many more to come.
To do many more.
And bravo, Nikki, for this amazing drone video which you did for the Bethlehem Kirk. With flying inside and outside and That's really impressive and beautiful. So we are slowly getting to an end, and in the last video we have to show it's actually from the Bethlehem Kirk, partially. And that was the last concert we did there when Carlos and Mirella, fantastic tango dancers, also joined us. It was all tangos concert. So don't forget, dreams can come true, and they will. Thank you so much for being with us, and now enjoy the final of our show. And thank you, our guests,
Yes.
for being with
Thank you,
us.
Daniel. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, Carlos and Mirella. And thank you, Boris.
And for now, we will just have some beautiful music of Astor Piazzolla and some illustrations of us enjoying life and dancing on the roof.
Wonderful.